This is the start of your new life, Brian. A life without worry or pain or loneliness. A life filled instead with colors and music and euphoria.
I know you need help. I just...
Now you're really losing your mind.
Are you okay? You know how I will tell you like a movie recommendation, and I'll be like, "This movie like blew me away," and I tell you the movie, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like Paddington 2.
Okay.
Paddington 2 is genuinely one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think that, but you ready for this one? I watched it this weekend, and I literally haven't been thinking about much else since.
Oh my god.
I watched 2006 Miami Vice.
What?
The Michael Mann film.
Oh.
Dude, Miami Vice. Not the old show, but the movie.
Okay.
Miami Vice. It fucks hard. That movie goes so hard. It literally opens up in the middle of a scene to Numb by Linkin Park.
What? So this is an edgy movie.
Cool. And it's weird because it's in a nightclub.
No one listens to Numb in a nightclub. What the fuck?
According to Michael Mann, they do. But it rules.
Okay.
Like, it's so campy and it's so like tonally serious.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the movie. I hate when people say this now, but the movie is just like a vibe. Like, all the characters know how badass they are, but not in like a dumb way.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Not in like a boom, big explosion way. Just like, yeah, hell yeah.
Not a cool guys don't look at explosions way.
Yeah. No, more like cool guys drives a speedboat and fucks a woman. You know? And then breaks up a drug deal kind of way.
While he's driving the speedboat, he's having sex with someone.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually a very romantic movie.
Really? Oh my god.
It is very romantic.
You said that about the card counter, the Oscar Isaac movie too.
Yeah, it's very that is a very romantic film.
I guess so.
It's very intimate. I've been big on romance lately because we've been me and Caroline have been going through all of Wong Kar-wai films.
Okay.
They did like In the Mood for Love. We just watched Fallen Angels, which I loved. But I'm learning a lot about romance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was literally thinking I'm not gonna spoil Saul or anything, but in the final season, the final episode of Saul, there's a moment with like Kim and Jimmy, and I was like, oh, they're looking at each other like a Wong Kar-wai film. Like they captured love really well. So, but I just wanted to throw you off and tell you to watch Miami Vice.
Oh my god,
it's on HBO.
Yeah, I did not expect that. Wait, it's just called Miami Vice?
It's called Miami Vice.
Whoa.
With Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx.
Nice.
But and I found out there's a director's cut, so I gotta find it because apparently the director's cut goes even harder.
No, wait, I don't want to get this twisted, okay? But is this a legitimately good movie, or is it just schlock?
No, this is legitimately good.
Oh, okay.
Like it genuinely hasn't left my brain.
Oh, all right. That's a good sign.
But it's not going to be what you expect. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just, I just know it's a weird movie. You wouldn't expect me to like fall over, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely would not expect you to like a movie with Jamie Foxx in it.
Well, I normally don't like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Like Baby Driver is embarrassing. But I don't know. Like, I like Michael Mann a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love Thief.
I was gonna ask if that was him. That's a really good movie.
Yeah, and Heat.
Yeah,
it's my Michael Mann summer.
And Heat that's the one with the bus, right?
Yeah, the bank robber.
Okay,
movie.
I've seen that one. Yeah, that one is a really good one too.
Telling you, just watch Miami Vice.
So if I want to learn how to fuck hard, I should go watch Miami Vice. Watch Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell fuck people. That's what. Yeah, that's your official recommendation.
That's my official. You want to learn how to fuck? Watch Miami Vice. if you want to learn how to not fuck, watch Brain Damage.
That is so true. This movie it'll make you horny, but then it'll make you disgusted.
Very, very phallic.
Yeah.
And it's not like like Xenomorph, like basically Ridley Scott designed everything like around a penis. Like Xenomorph is a cock, right? Mm-hmm. That's canon.
Yeah.
But like they're like, oh shit, penises are cool. But Brain Damage is like, what if we look at like real penises and make them ugly? That's what Elmer is. He's just an ugly blue penis.
Oh my god! Yeah. I was so surprised that this thing could talk. I don't know why. And
it speaks in like proper English.
Yeah, it was like he's from the UK or some shit. I was like, what in the goddamn hell am I watching?
That was the selling point for me. When I saw it, and like the description was literally just like, meet Elmer, a parasitic slug that makes hallucinogenic trips for its host, and he talks in proper English. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching this movie. So this movie, this was my recommendation. I've seen this before. I love Brain Damage, and you wanted to watch something schlocky. Yeah. So I was like, Brain Damage. It's a 1988 film by Frank Henenlotter, who did Basket Case 1, 2, and 3. And then Frankenhookers, which I haven't seen, but it's always recommended to me on Prime for some reason. So I think one day I have to give it a shot.
Frankenhookers? Yeah, sure.
Frankenhookers.
Well, that sounds like a great one.
So the plot of Brain Damage is pretty simple. It's just a slug crawls onto a man and pumps him full of blue Gatorade, which causes him to trip. And he goes out and murders people so Elmer the slug can eat their brains. And that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what did as a new Brain Damage head?
Oh god.
What do you think? What did you think of Brain Damage?
I did like it.
Okay, I'll take it.
It was a nice refresher after seeing the series finale of Better Call Saul, because I mean, Better Call Saul is depressing, especially near the end.
Oh,
so it was nice to just see like a fun schlocky thing where there's not like all this drama and like all these complicated character stuff going on. So in that context, I did like it, and it had some fun horror scenes,
It's I noticed this on a rewatch, and I don't know how to exactly describe this, but the feeling I got, especially from the beginning, it almost feels like how a kids' movies are set up, if that makes sense. Like I don't know what I'm saying, but I think
just, I kind of understand
the
what you're
idea
saying.
of there's like this old couple, and their mysterious thing, you don't know what it is, has gone missing, and they're looking around, And then we're met to the main character, and he's like right in the action, and we're like, oh, I don't know. It just brought me back to a time when I would just watch those like random movies when I was a kid, and this just seemed like something that would be it. I don't know.
I could see it because you could frame it in like kind of a deceptive way, but it sounds like a kid's movie when you describe it. Like, oh, a young man in his bedroom is asleep at night, and a magical creature comes to him, and it talks like a little British man, and people are looking for it, and he develops a serious bond with this little freak. It's like, that could very easily be a kid's movie.
Yeah. I'd watch it. I'd let my kids. Hey, I'd watch my kids watch this Brain Damage. Honestly, this movie is probably the best like Say No to Drugs movie.
Yeah. Don't let a little blue slug pump Gatorade into your head, or else you will have a bad time. You will murder people. Or
one of my favorite quotes: "If there's blood on my underwear, I want to know how it got there."
Oh my god! Yeah.
I like how that's the point. When he realizes he has a problem because he wakes up, there's blood on his underwear. That rules.
Oh my god! Yeah, some of this guy's thinking was a little flawed.
But this does what I love every schlocky horror movie to do, and it gets you straight into it. You know, there's no character build up. We literally meet the character and he's already being pumped full of juices.
Yeah, that did literally just start, so you don't even get to know anybody.
Yeah. And then like his girlfriend comes and he's like, "Oh, I'm feeling weird." And then just like a slug pops up behind him. He's like, "Hello." It's very bizarre.
It really is.
But it's very interesting because I was reading and Henenlotter wrote this based on his own like experience with cocaine. So it's like coming from a real place.
Oh, weird.
So it's like basically like B-movie Euphoria. Imagine,
just made in the 80s.
Yeah, Euphoria season 3.
Oh my god.
Rue has Elmer on her. I don't need the pills, I have Elmer.
You know what's weird? But I could see Euphoria doing that as like a gag.
Yeah.
Because like they always do those like weird like imagination sequences.
Considering they use the Cannibal Holocaust theme song in like one of the last episodes. Yeah.
They did?
They needle dropped the Cannibal Holocaust theme song.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
It was like at the end of the second to last episode.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, what the fuck? Is that the Cannibal Holocaust theme song? In my head, I was just like, oh, that was probably like just a coincidence. They used the same music.
Yeah.
And then literally in the credits, they like said Cannibal Holocaust theme written by blah, 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 blah.
Oh my god.
And I was like, hell yeah. That's rules.
Awesome.
So it's such a bizarre choice.
It's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, Brain Damage, other than just being like a fun, goofy movie, it's really just about like addiction and drug abuse. Because you hid this character. I mean, he is going around murdering people and eating their brains, but it's like a slow spiral out of control and like his dependency on it.
Right.
There's literally like a scene where he's like trying to wean off of it but can't. But what is I think the best part of this movie is how bizarre some of the kills are.
Oh yeah, that was the most entertaining part for me by far. Were the kills.
Especially everyone knows the blowjob scene.
Oh god, yeah.
Where yeah, that when I watched this the first time, I was like, okay, hell yeah, this movie's awesome. You know? But essentially what happens is he goes to a club, he's super high, picks up this chick, they go out and back, and she goes to suck his dick, and Elmer pops out of his pants and just, I assume, just bites her tongue. Like he like dives into her mouth.
Oh yeah, like it was messed up. I'd assumed that he went like all the way up through her head into her brain. It was just like chowing down.
And like blood was coming out, and our main man just is almost like coming.
I know.
Like
he's
he
just
doesn't
like
know what's going on.
Yeah, he's like just high as hell. He's just vibing with the whole thing.
Yeah, while this hooker's literally getting her brain eaten out by his cock.
Which, by the way, does that mean that Elmer, he just like crawls around the outside of his body?
Yeah,
right?
he's never in him.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, like, what did he like replace his dick, or did he just pop out when she opened his pants?
I think he just popped out.
That
like
makes sense.
He just rolls around. When I first watched it, I thought he was like in him for some reason, but then you see, because he just basically puts the needle thing in that hole in the back of his neck he made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he just like main lines to his brain the Gatorade juice. I don't know how else to describe it other than it looks like blue Gatorade.
Because it literally does. He has buckets of it around his bed.
Yeah. But yeah, and I was reading, apparently majority of the crew walked off set when filming that scene.
The blowjob one?
Yeah, just because they were like, fuck this is stupid.
Oh my god.
This is disgusting. And that scene was also cut out of the theatrical release.
I'm wondering how that scene works then, if it's out of the theatrical release. Does she just die off screen or some shit?
Probably.
Or is that whole plot
I don't know.
thread?
Maybe it's implied, maybe they died in a different way. Well, I was reading that basically like the first cut was really poorly received.
Mm-hmm.
And they were basically like, if you want to get this released in theaters, you got to remove the blowjob scene and the ear scene. Which we'll talk about.
Oh, is that the where
when he's pulling out his own ear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And they made a bunch of cuts, and by the time they got done cutting it, it was only like an hour and a couple minutes. So they had to add a bunch of other stuff. Like did you notice that through the whole movie he had like a split lip?
Yeah.
In the other cut, he like gets into a fight in a bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I assume that was maybe filler to reach the time because they cut out all the cool shit.
So this version that we saw is like the real version, not like the studio mandated one. Okay.
Right. It's like the full R-rated version.
That's cool. Because normally with stuff like that, when it's changed so much in the studio, through the studio system, like a lot of that footage is always lost.
Lost, yeah.
Like one of the ones I think this is probably one of the most famous ones is Event Horizon. Where all of that really dark like hell stuff was like cut out and you get like glimpses of it only in the movie, which I don't think they found to this day any of that footage.
Damn.
It was just gone. So it's pretty cool that they were allowed to they still had the means to release this in its true form, the way it's supposed to be seen.
Yeah, because I know like Arrow Video did like a release for it and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a goofy movie. I don't know like how else to describe it. It's just goofy.
It really is. But my favorite part where I was like laughing out loud, if I could say, is the bathtub when they're trying to check on him in the bathroom.
Yes, I actually specifically wrote that down.
Did you?
And he's like, woohoo! And he's like playing with Elmer.
Yeah. And they're just like, what the hell's going on in there?
Yeah. Like, he hasn't been the same. he's just playing in the bathtub with his slug. Yeah, that seems hilarious. He's like,
so funny.
Is he like Elmer like pops out?
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that I don't think was meant to be funny, but ends up being funny.
Yeah. It helps that the acting isn't great, but it fits. It fits perfectly.
I didn't like most of the main cast, like their performances. I mean, they're like not great. His girlfriend and the main character and his brother.
The brother.
Like, it's hard to watch.
I mean, those are really only the three characters.
Yeah.
You had the old couple, but they were kind of crazy, so...
They did a good job, though. I thought, especially the woman at the beginning when she's, like, crying, I was like, wow, that looks real to me.
When, or, like, when they're, like, having a seizure for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, are they dead? And then they appeared later. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess not.
I know. Do you know what I thought when I first saw that? I thought that they had taken cyanide capsules.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought that, they can't control him, now he's out, and they're going to kill themselves because they feel guilty. That's literally what I was thinking. But then he just comes back, and they're like, oh, okay. They just want
to get high again. I assume maybe that was, like, withdrawal.
Oh.
They were experiencing. It was like a seizure.
Yeah, we even see the main character go through that later when he's away from him for a prolonged period of time, right?
I mean, really, Elmer should just replace, like, Dare. You know? Like, he goes, and he's like, now, kids, look at what happens when your brain's on drugs. And he just injects a man, and he murders one of the children. Eats their brain. Like, don't do drugs.
They get some guy off Craigslist to, like, have the thing in his head for, like, a week.
Yeah.
And then they bring him into a classroom, and then it's like an hour-long presentation where Elmer just sitting there while the guy's on the floor convulsing.
Yeah, ripping out his own brain from his ear.
Yeah. That would scare me off drugs forever.
Yeah.
If I saw that when I was a kid, I'd be like, what in the goddamn hell is going on?
I mean, to be fair, I don't think Dare was all that helpful because they told us that they will put meth in your candy at Halloween. And
did they really?
Yeah. They
told us, I don't remember that.
They were like, Pop Rocks. People will open them, put meth rocks inside, and then reseal it and give it to children.
Oh,
and they said like that about Fun Dip, like with cocaine. And I was like, and as I got older, I was like, wait, drugs are really expensive? Why would anyone do that?
Yeah. Why would anybody living in a suburban house do that?
Like, they don't even see the kid get high.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if eating meth rocks is an effective way to get... I feel like you'll get poisoned, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what they want. I mean, you never know.
I don't know. That's when I realized that the police didn't know anything about drugs.
Oh, God, yeah. Frame of reference, we grew up in a small town. So it's
yeah. Small farm town.
Yeah, all the police here are like wackos who don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah. That tase the students.
Yeah. Just on a whim. Just tase the student.
Just cause students like, hey, can you tase me? He's like, yeah, sure, I don't see a problem with this. You know? There's not several laws or policies that prevent me from doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's just growing up in a small town. Nothing exciting happens for the police.
No.
Nothing.
No. They take what they can get. They have to create situations where they can tase someone in order to feel some excitement.
How was work today, honey? Oh, great. Tased 3 kids today.
Yeah, exactly.
But he tells it oh, they tried to they were beating up some guy and I had to use my taser to take him down, when really it's just some kid was like, can I get tased? He's like, yeah, sure.
He's doing that to get in his wife's pants. He's just like,
yeah.
Oh, honey, you know what I did today? I took down some druggy kid. He was trying to stab his classmates. What do you think of that? It's like, oh, my hero.
When I tased him, a bunch of blue Gatorade fell out of his head. And this little proper English-speaking slug crawled out of his shirt. It was weird.
Because he was watching Brain Damage during the school day instead of actually working.
Yeah, he was on his iPad watching Brain Damage. It's like, this is what kids are doing these days, Elmer's. But no, I wanted to talk about Elmer's design.
Yeah.
Because it's really just sad looking. His eyes are so tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And he has big, I don't know what you call them, not eyebrows, but you know that part over your eye, your eyebrows are on, that go over your eyes, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, that ridge.
It's
I know
very prominent, so his eyes just even smaller and sadder.
I know. And it's weird because his eyes are like a cartoon character's eyes.
Yeah, they
or
are.
Something.
They look like, you know when people artists they can't draw eyes, so they just make them dots or something.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. This makes him a pretty unique design. It's kind of weird, the contrast between the eyes and this weird bluish fleshy exterior.
He's just a funny little character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to describe him. He's not scary.
A funny little character.
He's just he's a fun little guy. But also the main guy looked like Ray Liotta from Goodfellas, really young Ray Liotta.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's and Ray Liotta has a very distinguished face.
Yeah.
It's very unique. And then it got me thinking about if Elmer was in Goodfellas, like Ray Liotta, when he gets his first suit and he's like, "Look, Mom," but he has little Elmer on his shoulder.
Yeah. Oh God. They should make more movies like that, where it's one of the examples I can think of is The Guest, where it's it starts out as one genre,
yeah,
and then halfway through, all of a sudden it becomes something completely different out of
Predator.
left field. Yeah, exactly. It's they should do that with a mafia movie like that, and then all of a sudden it's just becomes sci-fi where there's a little alien freak
little
Elmer.
Alien guy controlling the mob boss.
Yeah. I just think that would be so fun to see the mafia type of person try to rationalize and deal with an alien,
a little slug.
Yeah.
One thing movies need to do that I feel they don't do anymore is just pick a goofy idea and just follow through with it. Because this movie takes itself very seriously, and that's where I think
really
it's funny.
Does.
There's no cheesy jokes. It's funny because the characters are taking it so seriously.
Yeah, because if this was a Marvel movie, that moment when he first sees Elmer, They'd be like, "Look at this little guy. Really? Am I supposed to talk to this thing?" When he starts talking.
Yeah. He's like, "Whoa, you can talk?" Yeah. The Joss Whedon writes writes shitty 80s horror movies.
And on any Joss Whedon production, there'll always be someone getting abused in the background while everything is going on too.
You hear a woman crying as Elmer's talking, just in the back. It's the person holding the boom mic.
Oh no.
But I mean, like there's so many movies like this that just like stuck to like they basically like Castle Freak, you know? What if there's a freak in a castle? Sure. Let's make a movie. Mm-hmm. That's why I love Malignant. Malignant literally took this idea. Was just like, what if we put a freak on the back of her head? Fuck it. Sure. You know?
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, I can appreciate it from that perspective.
Where horror movies today either take themselves too seriously or they treat everything like a joke. You know? But like there's stuff like this like coming out of like the 80s and maybe like early 90s of just weird shit like this. like another example I can think of is Society. That's another one.
Yeah, that takes itself really seriously.
It takes itself seriously, but it's like funny. But it's not making jokes. But it knows it's funny, you know?
Right. Yeah.
That's what I appreciate. And I feel like we don't have that a lot anymore. Maybe stuff like, I don't know, like Terrifier.
That's a good one, actually. That's a good example of a modern one, at least, that does that. Takes it really seriously.
But that's also more like you're laughing kind of like the absurdity of some of the situations or the kills, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we need more goofy creatures doing things. That's what the 80s was good at. Speaking of goofy characters, because Frank Henenlotter did Basket Case, that's why in the train scene there was that man holding the basket.
Oh, really? I was wondering what the hell that was.
Literally Basket Case.
Oh, so it's the same basket from that movie, I'm assuming.
Yep, and the same guy.
Oh,
I think.
Wow.
It was just literally just a weird cameo, and it's so bizarre because he like really holds on that shot.
I know.
Like they like look at each other and you're like, oh, this is a key plot point. It's like, no, he just it's a Basket Case cameo.
I know. I thought he was gonna open. I thought it was weird that it was padlocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he probably has a pet in there or something. But then like nothing happened with that, so I was like, oh, okay. But that makes sense why it's held on for so long. It's just like a weird
I don't know why necessarily. More normally that stuff it's like, oh, it's in the background or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is like straight up. Just look at this thing for a minute. This is Basket Case in this movie.
It's a Basket Case cinematic universe. If you will.
Yeah. I mean, technically, by that logic, these two exist in the same universe.
Yeah, especially if it's the same dude. It's like
he already achieved what they were trying to do with the Castle Freak remake.
Yeah, honestly,
he did it better.
I'm still waiting to see the return of Herbert West, whoever you are out there.
Yeah. What other random shitty movie you can make and throw that in God. For some reason?
Yeah.
What other H.P. Lovecraft story?
That was the worst movie I think we've watched on this show.
I will have to agree with you there.
Without a doubt. That was so
Without
bad.
a doubt. That was worse than some of the later Texas Chainsaws.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Like, at least most of those were like shot competently.
There was something.
Right.
Yeah.
This was like really amateurish, like it looked like a YouTube movie or something.
Yeah, it looked like a college kid's project.
Right, yeah.
In like the worst way, I mean.
Yeah, in the worst
way. Like that kid that goes to film school just because he like, oh yeah, movies are cool, but like doesn't actually study movies, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure down the road we'll watch Must Force movies.
I mean, I hope we don't, but I also
hope we do. I want to.
I mean, I'm open to it. We have been watching way too many good movies recently.
And we don't plan on it.
No.
They just happen. We're like, holy shit, this is really good.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to talk about, or actually two more, but the one scene that I thought was very funny when he first gets high and goes to the junkyard. Mm-hmm. And he's just like walking around like shouting, just kind of like banging on stuff. And that security guard literally has like a "this is my moment," you know? Like, you know when like gun owners just want someone to break into their house so they can shoot someone?
Yeah.
It's like he's having that moment. Like he's like getting the uniform ready, putting his suit on. He's like, like hyping himself up. And it's like so serious. And it's just like, this is just some crackhead, you know, trespassing.
Yeah. And it's then the reality of the situation is just that it's just some guy in the junkyard going, "Whoa, whoa,
yeah, whoa, yeah,"
and he thinks he needs to bring his gun out and be like, "Hey,
yeah," and he's like, "I'm gonna shoot someone." Yeah, and it's like it's a junkyard, you know?
Like who cares?
And then the last thing before we get into spoiler talks, I wanted to talk about some of the special effects.
Oh yeah, I wanted to mention this too.
Because this movie does that kind of mix of weird 80s visual effects and then practical effects.
Yeah.
And the practical effects are great, simply like, I mean, they're not incredible, but they're great because they are so comedic. Like when that guy was like getting killed in like the bathroom and you just see like his legs, and then over the stall you just see the blood splurting everywhere.
Oh yeah, and it's clearly just somebody with like a bottle just like
a hose
squirting it up,
spraying. Yeah. Yeah, but that's awesome. Like it fits.
Yeah, it's charming is a word I would use. It's like it's very just like quaint and like silly. That works for some reason because the movie is already super
very
silly. Yeah.
One effect that was actually very good, it was the ear scene when he starts pulling out. I don't know what exactly he was pulling out other than his flesh from his ear until his ear eventually fell off with the string.
Right. It was like his ear canal or some shit. That's why I looked at it. I don't know. You probably can't even pull that out.
Imagine if that was a clown doing that. Like, you know how they have like they like bring out like the hanky or whatever?
Yeah, they're all tied together.
Out, but it's just their brain matter. They're just pulling out in one long string. That's going to be in Terrifier 2.
Yo, you know it. That's what I wanted to happen in that one clown movie where it was about that guy like transforming into a clown. Like he did someone like that. Like he did it to another person's victim's ear. And like he's just actually just pulling out like their like flesh or something.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet. Doing
body horror clown movie.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, this movie is kind of a body horror movie.
I would say so. I thought the stuff with the head was pretty body horror. You know, like when it like this movie always shows you inside of the brain.
Yeah.
Like when what's happening.
Lots of brains.
Yeah.
Brain meatballs.
Oh god, yeah. What was up with that? It's a very surreal movie, by the way. The whole thing is just so surreal.
It's very psychedelic. Yeah. Especially like some of like the visual effects they use, where it's clear they just kind of like keyed around him and just put that really bright blue. I mean, I assume they didn't have the means or the budget to probably fill a room with water.
Yeah. So you can understand.
So they had to do that.
Right.
But it fits like the psychedelic trip.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I felt the effects weren't always great. Like most of the time they weren't, but like they fit with the movie because it's just so weird and psychedelic. It's like
tonally it fits.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I didn't really have an issue with it.
Yeah. No, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I liked it. You know, Dax, I was shocked that a big budget movie made in 2018 would rip off a movie called Brain Damage, a B movie from the 80s. But here we are. We live in a world where that happened.
We live in a society.
Yep.
That is true.
Which I don't know, some people might know what I'm thinking of, but is Venom, which somehow is like it like, do you know that scene in this movie where he's like talking to like his girlfriend over dinner?
Oh yeah. And he's also talking to Elmer.
Right, yeah. It's like, and then like that like the Elmer's like stopping him from saying certain things.
Yeah.
Getting too specific. That is literally a scene in Venom. Like, literally.
Oh, my God.
It's a girlfriend that he's estranged from in Venom, and he's trying to get back with her or whatever. Although, in this, he's breaking up with her. But, anyway. Yeah, like, Venom is, like, pulling him around and, like, hurting him, like, when he's saying things he doesn't want to hear. and like just their whole like dynamic was like just straight up ripped off from this movie. I was like actually shocked.
That's like really funny though.
I know,
like, because it's such a specific movie to like have it even be on your radar.
I know, yeah.
Could you imagine like Sony was just like, all right guys, Venom's done, you ready? And then some intern who's really into just B movies is like, guys, you realize you just made Brain Damage? They're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, it's different because obviously Venom, you're supposed to like the symbiote and the guy, and they both like coexist. But and in this, they like kind of like destroy each other basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like shockingly similar. Like there are scenes like when you watch it, like that scene with his girlfriend, exactly the same. Like the dynamic between them is like so similar that I can't like see past it. Like there's no way that a writer on Venom did not see Brain Damage.
Yeah, and just had that idea.
Yeah, there's just no way.
I want to see Elmer versus Venom. That's Venom 3.
I would actually watch that.
Let there be Elmer.
Oh no. They should have had that as a post-credit scene in Venom 2.
Oh my god. Can you imagine like Eddie Brock like gets home to his apartment? He's like, oh boy, Venom, I'm so happy to be home. And then there's just a bucket of like blue liquid. And he's like, oh geez, what's this, Venom? And then it's just Elmer pops up.
He starts talking in a British accent.
Yeah, he's like, hello there, Eddie Brock and Venom. I don't know his name.
That works.
I don't know the symbiote Venom.
I'm pretty sure he actually is just called Venom, but I don't know. Who cares?
He's gonna go get him.
He's gonna go get him with that Venom.
Venom, gonna go get him. But I'd watch that.
Oh yeah.
Give me my Brain Damage remake.
We have Marvel scoop that up and then put it in their MCU.
Marvel's like, we're making the first horror movie, the Brain Damage. And Elmer, he sees MODOK, and he's like, "This is the best brain I've ever seen."
Oh, okay.
And he wants to get his brain. He wants to eat his brain. See, I know comics,
dude. That's pretty smart. You could also do that for the leader, the Hulk villain. Do you remember him? Where like his whole gimmick.
Do you know
is...
who you're talking to right now?
Well, I thought you may have heard of him through like cultural osmosis or something.
No.
Okay.
No. But go on.
But he's just a guy who, like, instead of like hulking out and becoming super strong, for some reason his brain grows and he becomes super smart.
Oh, he becomes really smart.
Yeah, so his brain is like literally the size of his like torso.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Elmer
like
would love that.
Yeah, he'd be all over that shit.
You'd just be dousing it in his blue juice and going to town. I'm imagining him with like a little like belly, you know?
Oh god.
He like burps when he's done.
That'd be hilarious.
He's like, all right, I gotta go back to my friend Eddie Brock. See, once again, we are just making content for Disney.
Apparently, yeah, they're probably writing down for the next Disney Plus show.
Brain Damage.
Brain Damage v Venom. It doesn't even have to make sense.
BDVV.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to make an acronym.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
We're looking at like Phase 7 Marvel right now, so.
You know, it feels like Marvel's been going on for so long, but then you realize it's only like Phase 4. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Feels like we've been through 16 of them.
I think they decided they were doing phases in like Phase 3. They were like, yeah, we did Phase 1 and 2, you know, like after the fact.
Oh, so they pulled the George Lucas and they were like,
yeah.
Oh, this is what we're doing. Interesting.
Yeah, because I don't think they realized how successful, like what they had until Avengers.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Did you see Top Gun Maverick is like literally like a couple million away from passing Infinity War?
Really?
For domestic sales. Yeah.
Wow. It deserves it.
Yeah, so everyone's just like, go to the theaters and see Maverick still.
That was an amazing movie. Did you end up seeing that?
No, I never did. I'll probably watch it when it comes out.
Yeah,
whatever.
You should. It's actually really good.
I don't care about planes. But I know you said it's okay. It's fine.
No, yeah, there's like very minimal CGI in it because they did.
Well, it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, they did all that shit practically, which is like when you're watching it, it's like insane to think that they were able to shoot all these shots and like keep up with the jets and everything. It's like
that's
crazy.
One thing I'm not really a fan of Tom Cruise as an actor, but he has my respect.
Oh yeah, the dude knows what makes a good movie, honestly.
Like him and Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's another one.
Yeah. Where
it's just they just love movies and love making movies. And they just want to do some cool shit for us, for our enjoyment. Hell yeah. All right. Well, now it's time to get into spoilers. So if you haven't watched this movie from the 80s and you really want to know what happens in Brain Damage,
stop listening.
Stop here. As if I'm pretty sure in my basic plot I just explained the entire movie. Like the movie is very like you know where it's going.
Yeah.
Except maybe the final scene, which is bizarre.
That is where it went, in a weird direction that I was not expecting at all.
Yeah, so basically we start with those old people. They're scrambling because they lost their Elmer, which you don't know what it is at that point. And then we show our main character who lives in the same building with his brother, and his girlfriend's like, "Hey, let's go out to this concert." And he's like, "No, I'm sick. Go without me." So she's like, "Okay." And then Elmer pops up, and he's like, "Hey, you want some drugs?" And just makes him trip. And then at this point, Brian is kind of just like okay with it. You know, like he's very okay with this slug very quick.
Yeah. He like wakes up and he's just like, "I know you're here." It's like, what?
Yeah,
you seem way too okay with this already.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Hi, I'm Elmer."
Yeah, it's so bizarre. But yeah. I guess he was just okay with it because it just made him feel so good.
I think it was like he's like, "Oh, this feels great. I don't want this to stop, so I'm okay with it."
Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, because then he goes. That's when they go to the junkyard and they do their first kill, where they kill the security guard. Really, Elmer does. And by kill, I mean Elmer just flies and just kind of bites their head until they die.
Yeah. And they just glued him to the actor's forehead.
Yeah.
And the actor like writhe
just
around.
Shake around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like this is when we kind of get into more, I guess, the addiction themes, because like his girlfriend's like, "Oh, he's never around, he looks pale, he doesn't act like himself," and that's where we get the amazing bathtub scene when he's like yippee or woohoo or whatever.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I like there's like scary music playing underneath it too.
Yeah,
as they're like, "I don't even know what's going on around here anymore." It's like
woohoo.
Yeah, it's like him going woohoo like a little kid.
It's awesome. Yeah, so they, I guess, go on a date, and she like brings up that she's worried, and that's when the infamous Venom scene happens, where he's like trying to tell her about Elmer, but Elmer's like not allowing him. And Elmer like at this point he like wants drugs, and Elmer's kind of like keeping him off of it because he doesn't want to give him too much right away. So yeah, basically Brian just walks out on his date and goes to a weird metal club where he meets some woman, and she goes to suck his dick, and Elmer pops out and eats her brain through his pants.
Yeah. It's a very well done scene. I think it goes on for a little too long.
It does, but it's a little uncomfortable, and you see him kind of like burrow in.
Yeah,
like, it gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then on his way back, he gets confronted by the old people, and that's when they kind of info dump like what Elmer actually is, and it's actually Aylmer. And I like that he's like Elmer, and they're like, "Hey, Elmer," and he's like, "Oh, Elmer." But basically Elmer is a parasite that's just been around since like the Middle Ages, and has like went from everywhere from like Egypt to Europe.
Yeah.
And all these places he's like passed down by like high powerful people. I guess. He's like a delicacy, like a rare delicacy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, but they're old people, so he fights them off. He goes back to his apartment, and that's when the girlfriend comes back, and she's like, "Oh," to her brother. He's like, "I'm worried," and he's like, and he's like, "Wait, is it over with you two?" And she's like, "I guess." And he's like, "Let's fuck."
that's literally what happens.
They literally immediately have. He's like, "Wait, does that mean you two are over?" Despite the fact that his brother is going through something horrible right now.
Let's have sex with each other when he's in the other room with his door closed.
Yeah, with his 8 locks and buckets of Home Depot buckets of blue Gatorade.
Yeah. Like, damn, I didn't have much sympathy for her after that, really.
No, yeah, it's very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, like, that's when Brian sees them, and he has, like, the realization, like, he has to learn how to control it, or else it's going to hurt the people he loves. So he goes to, like, a shitty motel or hotel and locks himself in and tries to, like, wean off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cold turkeys it. And then, basically Elmer's just like, "Hey, you need me more than I need you, so I can wait all day." And then Brian fucking loses it. It's, like, just, like, a couple hours. And he's already, like, having a seizure and, like we said, pulling out his brain from his ear.
Oh God, yeah. It was like a dream though, right? It wasn't like really happening.
Yeah, it was like a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I assume maybe that was like what he felt like.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, but then he gives in to Elmer and they go murder a man in the bathroom. There's also that bizarre scene in like the shower with that one guy.
Oh, we got the muscle guy? Yeah, I was wondering what the hell that was.
I read that apparently Henenlotter added that because it's supposed to show like people who go through addiction will like go to the lowest lows. So he's implying like that it was like sex work.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
It's just very bizarre and just there.
I know, it's like out of nowhere. It's like it's a really long scene too. And I wanted to mention there's a fucking weird ass transition edit in this. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where it's like it does like the rotating like picture like 3D effect to go to like the next cut. Mm-hmm. But it's like it's not even like a new scene. It's just a cutting into that same scene. Like it's so bizarre. There's a lot of weird editing stuff in this movie.
I guess you could say Brain Damage is a little experimental auteur.
Sure.
You know? They're really pushing the boundaries of what editing capabilities we have. Elmer is a cultural icon.
Oh God, he deserves the best, most experimental editing possible.
Yeah, and then like I guess Brian's like, "Fuck it, I'm going back home." And on his way, the girlfriend finds him. And this part, I don't know, is pretty cool. Where he's like, it's like funny because she's like, every time she looks away, like Elmer pops out of his like mouth to like kill her, and he like pushes him back in.
Yeah,
and eventually he like starts making out with her. And everyone's like, "Ew, that's weird." But really, Elmer's just like eating out the inside of her skull.
Yeah.
And no one notices.
That's what's kind of like effective about it too, is like all of these kills, like the blowjob kill and then this kill, where like you don't actually see what's happening. Yeah. You just kind of see the aftermath of it, and like hearing the sounds of it and like all that is like really effective, and like you can let your imagination go wild for what's actually happening, you know?
Yeah, all you really see is like Elmer go into their mouth and his little tail wiggling out the other end as blood flies everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then he goes back to the apartment, and outside, the old people ambush him again, but this time they have a gun. And the old lady like gets Elmer. Basically, they're like, "I need it," not for any like real. Because, like, in their room, he has, like, a bunch of, like, biology and stuff and, like, a bunch of books. So I'm like, oh, maybe they're, like, scientists, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's how it started, but then they just got so addicted to his juice that they just turned insane.
That would make sense.
Because he was trying to, like, preserve, like, the old man was like, "Oh, I was trying to protect everyone from it." But he ended up just giving in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then basically Elmer just kills... the old people, and in the process of killing the old man, he I guess kind of crushes Elmer. Yeah. Trying to, like, I don't know. It's. I will say it's not a very satisfying death for Elmer.
No, that's where I was thinking, like, because, yeah, he just kind of, like, pulls him out.
He just pulls him out and just kind of squeezes him.
I know, and he seemed to, like, just from... I guess he was squeezing him. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, I guess there's not much you could do other than just blow him up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's nothing cool you could do to kill Elmer.
I know. I was kind of disappointed with that, though, honestly, because, like, it felt like if he has been living for such a long time and he seemed like such like an important like being, it was just kind of weird that he just dies, like he just gets grabbed and like thrown on the floor. Yeah. It's like, what? I thought it would be maybe that, I don't know, I expected something a little more witty to happen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Yeah, but once Elmer dies, for some reason Brian grows a giant lump on his head.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with that?
And he goes back to the apartment and he like locks himself in the room and the police come, and when they bust in, it's just like him and his head's like open and there's just like a light shining from it. Yeah. I assume maybe his mind like transcended.
I guess it because throughout the movie you're seeing like when he's like putting like the Gatorade juice in, like it's like lightning almost. Yeah,
there's a lot of electricity.
Yeah, so like I'm guessing like,
and electricity does come out of his head at the end.
Yeah. So like all that energy that he put in there, because maybe Elmer wasn't able to like do what he normally does because he got pulled out. So then now it just like the energy's like going crazy in his head. I have no idea. It's all really abstract.
Or Elmer planted a seed or something. Maybe that's how he stayed alive for so long. He just I don't know.
That would make sense too.
I think in the end, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's just a weird, fun ending. I like the ending.
Yeah, it comes out of nowhere.
And it's like relatively well done, too.
Yeah. And I like the body horror element of it, where like he's all of a sudden he's getting like this puffy like growth coming out of his head.
Trying to pop it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
He's like scraping at it. Yeah, you can't have a bad time watching this. I don't know.
No, there's a lot to enjoy, honestly.
It's one of those movies where it's like fundamentally it's not very good.
No, not at all.
but it's awesome. Yeah. You know? And I think that's what we're missing from like the 80s horror, where it's like they know what they had and they're just like, fuck it, let's just make it like this. You know? Mm-hmm. Let's just make a fun little movie.
Yeah, because it's like it was made during a time when it seems like you could just make any movie.
Yeah.
You know, like
anyone.
Like fuck it, you can make a movie about like a English accented little freak who gives you Gatorade juice in your brain. Sure, we can do that. I
mean, Sleepaway Camp was just directed by like some guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And he never made a movie again.
It's like, how the hell does a movie like
some
that
dentist
get made? Yeah, was it really a dentist?
He's like a dentist or something. I remember looking it up.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I long for that time, because everything seems just so. Maybe it's because I'm just getting older and I'm realizing I know more about it, but now everything just seems so like corporatized and safe and like sanitized. Yeah.
That's why I like Malignant. Everyone gets mad at me when I tell them I love Malignant. Malignant is a goofy, shitty 80s movie, but like at like a high level.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Well, my only problem with that movie is I don't think that the people making it thought it was goofy.
I disagree.
I don't think so.
I disagree. James Wan knew what he was doing.
No, I don't know. He made Aquaman. Come on, have you seen that movie?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm just saying it's really is like an homage to like these types of movies.
Okay.
Where it's goofy, but it's like fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Gabriel. Give me Gabriel too. You know? Give me Gabriel Goes to Space.
Return of Gabriel. Return versus Gabriel. Michael Myers. Why not?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Michael Myers gets Gabriel on his back of his head.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. Written by Joss Whedon.
Oh, God, no.
And Gabriel's like, hey, mind taking this mask off? I can't breathe in here. What the heck?
I was gonna say he'd have Michael Myers like quipping.
Yeah. It'd be like he does the talking for Michael.
Yeah.
Like Michael, like, I don't know, like smashes a guy's head in, and he's just like, glad I wasn't attached to that guy's head.
Oh god.
You know? Michael just ignores him. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. How do we come up with all these stupid ass ideas? Like, good lord.
Because we should have been around our age in the 80s.
Honestly.
We should have been in Hollywood in the 80s.
If they can make 16,000 Puppet Master movies, we could have made like one of our goofy ideas.
We could have made one competent, shitty movie.
Yeah. We just got to scam some millionaire into funding it.
I'm going to start tweeting at Elon Musk. Be like, hey, Elon, love your Elden Ring build. By the way,
oh my god,
I'm trying to make this movie. It's kind of like take Malignant and combine it with Halloween. Yeah, it's Gabriel versus Michael versus Elmer.
Oh my god,
these are 3 IPs that cannot fail.
You gotta sell it to him though, because he's very narcissistic. So like you gotta like the themes of it have to be like about. You have to say like, oh, Elon, like, we're making this, it might be a movie about Michael Myers and Gabriel from Malignant, but the themes are about you and your struggle against the system, against Twitter, against all of that kind of stuff. As you can see,
they want to silence Michael.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael's been tweeting too much about woke culture.
Oh, God.
And they want to stop him.
The wokes are ruining movies, and we're here to make sure that stops now. Fund us, Elon.
Want more blowjob scenes in my horror movies.
Oh, God. Unironically, though, you've got me interested to see the alternate cut of this, to see how much they added. It would be interesting to like compare the two and see like what's different. I
assume it would be shitty.
Probably, yeah.
Because though they were saying that the audiences, when it came out, hated it. They didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't until it got like a home release is when it picked up like popularity.
Oh.
Because it didn't have all the weird shit.
Yeah.
And the weird shit is the best part.
Yeah, that's the most fun stuff.
And it's like, I don't know what they were thinking, because it's like, you literally have a movie about a worm making a guy trip to kill people so he could eat his brains. It's like every audience going into that theater should know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would think, I don't know what the hell the trailer for this looks like, but if you see a slug thing speaking English, and you probably know what you're getting yourself into.
I'm imagining like those 80s, like, you know, like family movies where it's just like, meet Brian living with his brother in, I don't know, New York.
Yeah.
But then one day he wakes up to a hole in his head. Meet Elmer. Yeah, you know, we're just like those trailers were just a guy that describes the whole movie.
You know, his girlfriend may feel like a hole in the head, but he's gonna get a real one tonight. And it shows the clip of him like getting like one in his head.
That'd be awesome. One thing I feel like we need to do is take these like old 80s like B movies and make genuinely good trailers for them.
That would be
with
cool.
The footage.
Yeah,
because I feel like you don't see trailers for this stuff anymore.
You really don't.
It's like lost media.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you do look, it's just someone that literally did exactly what I said. But then it's just them stitching basically the whole movie into just 2 minutes. So it does like the entire plot.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate when I see that. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we both recommend Brain Damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You would honestly, the reason I wanted to watch a bad movie is so I can come up with like a funny review one-liner that would be on like the title of like a BuzzFeed article or something. Like,
oh, God.
You'd have brain damage if you think this movie's good.
Oh no.
You know?
Those hack movie reviews.
Where they don't even watch the movie, they just watch the trailer and then get angry about it.
Ugh. That's what I hate about Rotten Tomatoes, looking at those like the critic summaries. Because they always try to pull some like snarky bullshit in there.
Yeah. I bet you the Rotten Tomato score for Brain Damage was 100%, audience and critic.
Are you sure about that?
I know it.
You don't even have to look.
I don't even have to look. I just know. And honestly, it doesn't matter because to me, it does. I can just ignore it. I can ignore reality.
You sound like a movie character whose problem is denying reality.
Yeah.
You're going to have a character
I don't
arc.
need to listen to you. I don't care about mundane Rotten Tomato scores that actually no way affect my life or opinions. But I got this slug on me.
That's a good lesson though, because if a piece of art like this speaks to you, then doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
No.
If it can get an emotional reaction out of you, then it's a good piece of art to you. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
If you cried during Brain Damage, 1, I want to meet you, and 2, good for you.
There was somebody out there crying during that blowjob scene.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god.
This happened to my buddy Kyle. Have you seen that? The Joker review?
No.
Yeah, it's like a review for the Joker, and he's like, this happened to my buddy Kyle. And then someone edited the poster instead of Joker, just Kyle.
Oh my god. Wait, about the Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Who the hell happened? I want to meet Kyle.
Yeah, it happened to Kyle.
What the hell? I want to meet this guy now.
This happened to my buddy Kyle. Now that's like a meme. It's like basically the movie equivalent of Skyrim with guns.
Oh lord.
You know that people would put that on everything?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the movie equivalent of that. Where people will watch like Solo and be like, this happened to my buddy Kyle.
I love that. I've not even heard of that meme.
Yeah, look it up. It's really funny. All right. Well, Brain Damage, you can watch it on Shudder. Tubi, right? It's on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to watch it free with ads, you can watch it on Tubi, or check it out on Shudder. It's a great mindless movie. It's just pure fun. If you like 80s horror movies and you like gore, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you need to pick me up after that Better Call Saul series finale.
If you ever feel hollow because you experienced art, go watch Brain Damage.
Yeah, put some joy in your life. See someone get their brain eaten out through their mouth.
Yeah, enjoy Elmer.
Yeah,
bring Elmer into your life. All right, well, go watch Brain Damage. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.